Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So in front of us today, we're going to be doing a nice little speed test comparison between the brand new OnePlus 13 and the iPhone 16 Pro. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Starting off with the specs, for the OnePlus 13, we do have a whopping 16 gigabytes of RAM, and we also do have the brand new Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, which is their strongest chipset. And then for the iPhone 16 Pro, we do have 8 gigabytes RAM, which is a significant amount less than the OnePlus 13. But again, Apple does do away with less RAM, and also the Apple A18 Pro chipset. So how I'm going to conduct this test, we'll go and do a nice little boot up test, open up some apps, and then we'll do a RAM management test, reopening those apps, and then I will run some benchmarks, and that will basically wrap it up for that test. So let's go ahead and begin. Starting off with the boot up test in 3, 2, 1. Let's go and see which one of these devices boots up first. And again, these tests really don't mean too much anymore. Flagship devices have gotten super fast, and usually they're very similar to each other. There's only very minor differences, especially in these types of tests. But again, there are still people that want to see these, so I do go ahead and conduct them. So let's go ahead and see which one opens up first. All right, OnePlus did open up their OnePlus logo, and here's the OnePlus 13 opened up, and the iPhone 16 Pro is getting there, and boom. So the OnePlus 13 has taken it. All right, so here is a look at our apps. So we do have some stock apps, some social media apps, some Amazon shopping apps, YouTube, and then we do have some games at the very end, and then we also do have our benchmarks. So now we can go ahead and begin. They are both connected to the same Wi-Fi, so we shouldn't have any issues with that, but other than that, everything should be good. So in 3, 2, 1, starting off the calculator, that is going to be the OnePlus 13. Calendar, that's going to be the iPhone 16 Pro. Clock, all right, that's going to be the iPhone 16 Pro if I'm not mistaken. And again, if I do miss anything, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Camera, I think that was the OnePlus 13, which opened up the camera lens first, but again, I'm not exactly sure. Instagram in 3, 2, 1. Right, that does seem like the OnePlus 13. X in 3, 2, 1. Again, I think that's going to be the OnePlus 13. It did load in the latest post. However, it didn't do what the iPhone 16 Pro did, where it actually scrolls up to the top. So I think that's going to be the OnePlus 13, but again, it might be the iPhone there. So Groupon. All right, that's going to be the OnePlus 13. ESPN. All right, let's see which one loads in the video. That's going to be the OnePlus 13. Amazon. Again, the OnePlus 13. So the OnePlus 13 is killing it right now. eBay. Again, the OnePlus 13. Wow, this phone is super fast and fluid. YouTube. That is going to be the OnePlus 13. Chipotle. Again, the OnePlus 13, just by a very small bit. So the OnePlus 13 has been very fluid for me, especially in the past couple of days that I've been using it. Honestly, it's a great device, and it definitely shows it here. So now we are moving on to our games. Smash Your Run 1 and 2. Let's see which one loads in first. That is going to be the iPhone. All right. Temple Run 2. See, game engine turned on, game mode on. Both of these have a separate game mode. Let's see which one loads in first. I think that's going to be the OnePlus 13 here. Again, usually Apple does take it with these games, but let's see what happens in this test. So go ahead and click play so these games can start running, and then move on to Asphalt Elite or Asphalt Legends in 3, 2, 1. Let's see. Very close, very close. And that is going to be the iPhone 16 Pro. The OnePlus 13 is still loading in, and boom. So the iPhone 16 Pro does take that. Dead Trigger 2, which is our final game in 3, 2, 1. All right, that's going to be the OnePlus 13 for the loading screen. However, if we do launch the game in 3, 2, 1. Let's see. That is very close. I think it's the iPhone by just a small bit. Let's see. Let's wait up for this. And I think that is going to go to the iPhone 16 Pro. Very close, might even be a tie. However, it felt like the iPhone was just a tiny bit faster. All right, now we can go through our apps, go ahead and check our RAM management. So again, the iPhone was faster with the games. Usually that is how it is. Apple does a great job with those games. But again, the OnePlus 13 was very fast and fluid with every other app, which is super cool. All right, so far no reloads, and I don't really expect these devices to have any reloads. These aren't very demanding apps either, so it should be fine. Plus the OnePlus does have 16 gigabytes of RAM. The iPhone does have an 8, which is not a lot. However, that is enough for the iPhone. All right, our final game, and boom. So no reloads for both these devices, which is great. Now we can go ahead and move on to our Geekbench 6 CPU benchmark. All right, so all the background apps are now closed. I closed them up, and we can go ahead and run a CPU benchmark for both these devices. And once this benchmark is done, we can go ahead and compare those scores. All right, so now both of the tests have finished up, and we do have some pretty interesting scores. So starting off with a single core on the OnePlus 13, we do have a 3026. As for the 16 Pro, we do have a 3492. So we do have a higher single core score. However, for the multi-score, the OnePlus 13 does come on top with a 9211 compared to an 8695. So again, some really nice scores, and it does show that both of these devices are very capable of doing a lot of the tasks that you throw at them. Now we will go ahead and move on to our 3D mark, and in this I will go ahead and run a, if I can find it, wildlife extreme stress test. Let's see, wildlife extreme stress test on both these devices. And again, just like the Geekbench scores, once this is over, I will go ahead and compare those scores. This test does take a little longer. It's around 20 minutes. And so the devices can actually get hot during this process, which is really nice. And it kind of thermal throttles both of these devices. So I'll go ahead and begin these tests, and we will compare those scores. All right, so both of the tests have finished up, and now we can take a look at these scores. So starting with the OnePlus 13, the best loop score is going to be 6,592. As for the iPhone 16 Pro, that's going to be a 4,303. Lowest is going to be 4,416 and 2,662 on the iPhone. The stability is very close, 67% on the OnePlus 13 and 61% on the iPhone 16 Pro. So the OnePlus has done a better job at this test. And here is a look at that stress test. Every loop, you can see that it does go down. It does go back up at loop 6, and then it goes down again, and then it steadily just decreases the whole time. And then as for the iPhone, same situation. It just steadily decreases this whole time. So nothing wrong with both these devices. It's just that one of them is a little more powerful than the other. As for the performance monitoring, we can see the battery percentages from 64 to 49% on the OnePlus 13. That's going to be a 15% drop, and exactly a 15% drop on the iPhone 16 Pro as well, with 65 to 50, so that's going to be 15%. The frame rate, however, is going to be an 11 to 34. On the OnePlus 13, that's going to be a 13 to 48, so just a tad bit better than the iPhone. As for the temperature, we can see it on the OnePlus. It's going to be 33 degrees Celsius to 48 degrees Celsius. However, I'm not really sure that we can see that on the iPhone. So the OnePlus 13 does take this benchmark. The Geekbench 6 was very close. The OnePlus 13 does take the 3D mark test. However, day-to-day usage, both of these devices are very powerful and will definitely get you through all of your needs. Again, in the end, it'll just be up to you, whichever one you like more, whichever system or OS you like more, iOS or Oxygen OS, that's just going to depend on you. But again, both these devices will handle everything you throw at them. So that is going to wrap it up for this video. As always, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see y'all in the next one.